Welcome to The Joyful Exchange, a podcast from Foundation for the Nations, also known as FFTN.
Ever wish there was a philanthropic, Christ-centered giving vehicle where you decide the giving and have fun doing it? Welcome to FFTN.
FFTN aims to draw together Youth for Christ projects from around the world with those who have the capacity to help them. Our motto is wealth into worth for the world, and our desire is to help those who are cash rich but time poor to make good decisions about where to invest their hard-earned money. Our FFTN staff and board have over 200 years' experience in working within the Youth for Christ family. Youth for Christ uniquely reaches young people in ways that are relevant to them in the context of their culture and life circumstances, giving every young person in every nation an opportunity to be a follower of Jesus Christ. For more details, see the links in the podcast bio.
We got into our car this morning and we made our way from Albania all the way to Kosovo through some gorgeous scenery. I was overwhelmed by the beauty in terms of lakes and mountains and everything else. And actually sitting in front of me now is Alban. Alban, it's great to see you. We are sitting in Mana Studio. You're a guy who likes technology. What have you got just in this room alone?
First of all, you have just arrived in the best part of Balkans.
Okay.
You have to make sure to mention that. Kosovo is beautiful. It's surrounded by mountains, lots of good river, good people, good food, good society. Mana, honestly, it's a big dream that has been realized just last 2 years. I've always dreamed to have something like this. This is a smaller version of the bigger idea that I have. It's a test for the thing that I want to see happening through technology and through reaching young people, reaching this nation through digital evangelism. I think all these resources that we have here are great, very professional. Yeah, I think it has helped us a lot to do what we believe that we are called to do through digital evangelism. We have this small studio, we have cameras, we have microphones, we have computers, we have a TV outside that people stop and read stuff that we create content. We do various things in Mana. We shoot videos, professional videos, we shoot preachings, and we cut into short reels. We do podcast conversation from behind with a pastor, and we have questions. We have deep questions like, why we left Islam? Like, why Islam is not the way, the truth, and the life? We put those online and people start to react and to talk, and some of them to blame us, but that's fine also. It's a good conversation also.
It's amazing now because we've just walked up the street to the studio and you have a large digital screen there with scriptures on there, with thought-provoking questions about faith and life. You're certainly not hiding your faith.
No.
Yeah, I mean, you're putting it out there for all to see.
It's public.
It's public, and that's wonderful to see. So, like, other than all this tech and everything else, tell us just a little bit about yourself, perhaps even just how you came to faith, and then your role within Youth for Christ.
I got to know Jesus in 2006 through a youth camp.
Yeah.
I come from a Muslim background. I used to be a Muslim, a dedicated Muslim. I used to read Quran, used to be part of a mosque and everything. Come from a Muslim family. So I started to go to a children's club that was led by this local NGO called House of Hope. So in that time, I went with the idea that I have to convert them into Islam because they were wrong and I was right. And
that
I went
backfired.
there. Yeah.
Sorry to say.
They didn't work out at all. So
Yeah.
that was my motivation. I need to challenge them. I was the president of all schools in the entire city of my hometown. I was the
Wow.
best student. And I said, hey, these people hasn't met yet the smartest guy to go and to teach them what is real faith.
Yeah.
And I went there and I saw these people and they were teaching about Christianity. And I said, oh, these are Catholics and these are Orthodox. I never heard about born-again Christians.
Yeah.
Even though I read in history about some Albanians who have been involved in born-again Christianity and they have helped to start schools. But I forgot that it's part of Christianity because they were Albanians. And I said, oh, they're Albanians, Muslims. They've just been part of something, a movement. So I got to be involved in that program and as a child. And my purpose was to be a co-worker because I felt that there's the influence from the position of chair to the position of speaking up front. There is a big gap. So what can I do from this position to go to that position? So I did everything. I was asking other co-workers, hey, I can help you in school. I can do this and I can do things for you. I can do tests and everything. Just make me a co-worker. So when I became co-worker, I started debating with people there. And honestly, it was the only thing that I couldn't find any mistake in the gospel.
Okay.
In the sense of I did everything. I was trying to convince people. But whenever I came to the gospel, I couldn't do nothing. When I was trying to find mistakes in Bibles, then what can you find a mistake? I mean, you find yourself as doing a mistake by finding a mistake. You see Jesus without doing any mistake, being crucified, going to cross for our sins and blah, blah. And you say, what kind of mistake I'm searching for here in this book? And slowly, in 2006, I said yes to Jesus in a youth camp. It was a very special moment. And they were praying in Albania, and they was like very powerful. And I knelt on my knees for the first time, and I started to cry, and I felt the presence of the Holy Spirit touching my life. And in that camp, I said, I want to say yes to Jesus. Yeah. So it happened through a youth camp. Even though I was part of the House of Hope, it happened through a youth thing.
Yeah.
So from that time, I really believe that youth ministry, working among young people, young children, is very powerful in our nation. And if we want to see the present and the future of our nation transformed, we have to work with the present situation that are young people and children to see also the future being transformed. So from the time I've been involved in ministry in different ways and different levels, nationally, locally, starting different ministries. I started radio in Kosovo when I was 19, Radio 7, that still is continuing. It's a media ministry, and I gave up for that because of trying to work mainly with people and church planting and being involved in ministry in church. So I started to work with the House of Hope and leading House of Hope for a couple of years and growing the House of Hope from a small number of workers into a different location, but also different ways and different projects inside of House of Hope. Until 2021, when I took another burden in my shoulders to lead Youth for Christ and to bring Youth for Christ in the country. I was in love with Youth for Christ platforms, ideas, ways that they wanted to work with young people. And also I was so jealous. Why we don't have these things in our country? Why this organization doesn't want to be developed in Kosovo? What can I do to bring them here? And it happened through different people. Other people were bringing all the time in table. And it was like a Youth for Christ. What is happening here? It's Youth for Christ. And it was like, who's doing this Bible? Who has translated? Who made the design of this Bible? Youth for Christ. What is happening? Why these people do not want to come to Kosovo? So I searched everywhere. Who is that person? Who is leading? Blah, blah, blah. And I was trying to write to people. And God brought the right people in my circle.
I'm getting goosebumps right now because I was sitting in the car with Ruben on the way down to here from Albania. And Ruben was telling me that all the time that you were engaging with other sort of Youth for Christ material around the nations, inquiring about why Youth for Christ isn't already here in Kosovo, that prior to that, the Lord had been working in Ruben's heart as the regional director to begin to think about how to bring Youth for Christ to Kosovo, and yet he didn't know he had the connections. Yeah. And it really inspired me and spoke to me that almost like a chessboard, the Lord was like moving different pieces into the right position for the time for that to be realized. So you were searching. Yeah. And so was Ruben. You were just about to tell us, when did Youth for Christ then establish itself here in Kosovo?
So as a Youth for Christ idea, we started to talk in 2020 in the pandemic time. But from 2021, we have been actively involved in Kosovo in different ways, but mainly with the work of young people. It was interesting because it happened in the COVID time, while everyone was hoping to survive. We were thinking how to flourish, how to thrive in new things and how to get more things involved in the country. And I think, honestly, it was just God's hand and God's idea. I can see that. When I think back with the people that I have been engaged or involved and people that have had impact in my life, even though I didn't know most of them, they've been Youth for Christ people. So like Bob Moffat, he is my mentor. So he's been working with YFC in the Middle East and different nations. I said, well, what is happening? So what is this Youth for Christ? I think it was God's hand and God's dream and God's desire and God's vision to bring this family in Kosovo. I'm very pleased to start that with a hope and with a vision that to be developed, and other people will move and they will bring to another dimension this ministry.
Yeah, excellent. Well, listen, we were visiting with you in the House of Hope today, which was great, and we were witnessing a Superwoman Club that was taking place. Maybe just for our listeners who don't know what Superwoman is, can you just explain a little bit about what it is. And then in the bigger picture of just maybe the role of women in society here in Kosovo, how it's fairly uniquely placed as a ministry here, and maybe even share one or two stories of just transformation and encouragement you're seeing.
For the first time when we were talking with Ruben and other people how we can bring Superwoman and what beneficial can bring to the country, I think it has shaped us a lot as a team, as an organization in the country, but also it has shaped our vision. Where do we want to be more focused? So when we did the training for the first time in Kosovo, how to be a trainer for Superwoman, or how to do Superwoman, we had, I think, 29 ladies from different churches of Kosovo that they wanted to have this platform, even though not most of them, they took it. But we as a YFC, we started that, and we had different clubs in some different places. It's very unique for our context, especially because after the war and before the war, woman in our country has been usually looked as person who needs to stay at home, to take care of the children, to take care of the house, to take care of the kitchen, to prepare food and blah, blah, blah. It has been more patriarchal society. And in that sense, it has been quite difficult. But with the younger generation, it has been quite impactful because it has opened way for a space that young girls can share life together, can share thoughts together, and can talk for things that they can share only with girls, not with the presence of men or other people. And that, for our culture, it's quite difficult. It's very challenging. How can you share something that you're not sharing with the man of the house? Because the man of the house is the law in the house. He's the one who directs everything. He's the one who leads everything. He is the top of everything. Like we have had cases that the man of the house has direct the dreams of their children, and in the sense that you have to study this, you have to work this, you have to do this way, because they've been trying to push their ideas and installing their children's ideas. And when you have that power, of course, it's very difficult also for girls to do what they want to do in their life. So bringing this platform in different locations in Kosovo, it has been very unique, very challenging for us, but it has been transformational for the girls who have been part of these clubs. We have cases in one of the centers, we have Superwoman Clubs. Girls who have been part of the club, they've gone to their parents and they said, God sees us in this way, God loves us, and we are created in the best image. This image is self-confidence in ourselves, and now we can go freely in school. We don't accept bullying. We don't accept other things, what other people can say. And our message hasn't stayed just in the life of that girl, but has gone also to the house. Even though this brought issues to us, to our programs, and we had to stop the program for a couple of months because parents were afraid that their daughters are getting converted into Christianity. But slowly after that, when we reopened, we had double number of girls, double number of programs, and people came to be part of the program much more and much more involved. And in other cases, in one of the cities that we have Superwoman Clubs, entire family has come to know Jesus because of a girl who has come to Superwoman Club. She came and she shared life, she shared difficulties, she shared issue with the family. The girl who is leading and the girl who is leading the entire Superwoman program went to the family, discussed, talked to the mother, encouraged the mother, opened the door to come to the church, talk more about faith, and the entire family came to know Jesus and become just part of the church. And that's encouraging. That gives you motivation and passion. And I think it's changing the spiritual way of some girls, but also it's transforming the mentality how society think for women. And we believe, honestly, we serve in this country not just with the idea of seeing transformation in a spiritual way. We want to believe that yes, that's necessary. That's the highest point what we want to see in our country. But we want to see also transformation of people that are living in this earth, that they are transforming other people in different ways, economically, spiritually, educationally, socially, in different levels of society. So that's our approach. We don't want just to see a person getting to know Jesus. Yes, we want to see that, but it's not all. We want to see that person transforming the society and being part of a transformational channel of society. And Superwoman Club, it's one of that program that does that.
It's very holistic.
It's very
what
holistic.
You're saying.
It's very holistic.
Yeah.
Sorry. Do you remember we were going to share really fast if the listeners were wondering how they could get involved? We actually have 2 practical ways that they can do this. So the first way is, as an enabling partner, you can commit to pray, and if you'd like, contribute monthly to help the foundation keep its wheels on the road. The other way is as a project partner. You can sit around the table at one of our annual gatherings and give your hard-earned cash with confidence to some of these wonderful projects that we've been discussing.
We've noticed as you talk about, this isn't just a project for you. Like
No,
as you
no.
talk about this, your face lights up, you know, I don't know if your pupils dilate, but you're all in. The other thing is to see like just the creativity that you have in terms of the media here. Obviously, you're very entrepreneurial. It sounds like that. So we've been really encouraged. When you think about like limitations or obstacles that are in your way right now, thinking about that big dream, what sort of limitations and obstacles do you have to overcome in order to get there?
The only way that it's going to happen is going to happen through young generation. I personally believe that when that happens, that revival come to our country, we will see spiritual revival and we will see slow the transformation of the country. But in the other way, I believe that we have to engage people even if they are not believers in our work. Why I'm saying that? Because while they are working with us, they will see the difference in the way that we work from the difference that they see somewhere else.
Yeah.
So when they see the difference, it's like a learning system. So they're learning, and while they are learning, something is changing in their mind.
Yeah.
And while something is changing in their mind, they're getting engaged with the work, and something is changing in their heart. And slowly they are coming to do the same with other people. So in numbers, one by one, and like a group of people, 10 people will create 10 more people. So slowly in that way, we will see generational change.
Yeah.
But also there are other obstacles. Like we are a small community in Kosovo, like less than 2,000 born-again Christians. Sometimes we feel that we are forgotten, we are forsaken, and no one is coming, not just invest, but also bring missionaries and bring other resources in the country. That's sad sometimes, because in the middle of Europe, you have a 96% Islam country, and you have a post-Christian Europe somewhere there that they don't invest in this, let's say, unreached nation. We are
Yeah.
unreached nation.
Yeah.
And if you want to do something, and if you want to reach Europe, reach this unreached nation and use that to reach other nations that are around. So personally, I think that is another obstacle, that we are forgotten somehow from Western Christianity or church worldwide. We feel like that sometimes. And also, we don't own our properties. It's sad to say, but I've had cases in my hometown when we had House of Hope. The owner of the house, just because people started to convert, he kicked us out from his place. And we had to change the place to go to another place. And we couldn't be established in one place with a long-term ministry.
Yeah.
So having our own properties, having our own spots to do ministry as a YFC, as a House of Hope, as a church, as whatever, I think it helps a lot for the long-term ministry.
Yeah.
And not just for this generation, but it will be much more easy for next generation to do what they are called to do, because someone before them has prepared the way, and they don't need to be afraid that where are we going to worship the Lord? Where are we going to do a youth ministry? Where are we going to do a project like this, or blah, 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 something else?
For people listening in, you've just shared earlier about the numbers of churches and the number of people meeting in churches within Kosovo. Like I think you said to me there was maybe like 30 churches. Is that what you said?
Less than that.
When you said there was 29 of those were present at the Superwoman training, I mean, that's really encouraging.
Yeah.
But in terms of numbers, like how many people are gathering in sort of community and fellowship together?
Christian community in Kosovo is quite small. We didn't do a census ever. So we say that we have less than 2,000 born-again Christians in the entire country.
Yeah.
Of course, the number was bigger, but we have lost quite a few of them because of going outside of Kosovo and living in Europe, and to find better hope and better lifestyle or future in Europe. Not just believers, but also non-believers. We used to be 1.9 million inhabitants, and now we are 1.5. We have lost more than 400,000 people from Kosovo.
Yeah.
So we have lost a quite big number of people.
Significant, yeah.
Going and living in different Western world. So also some believers were part of that number, families, members, young people that we lost.
Is there a way that we could go after them and bring them back? Because I hear our own story in that, in terms of being from Ireland, that we used to send missionaries all across the world. And then Irish society has become so secularized and progressive that we are actually needing missionaries to come from places like Africa, where we maybe sent missionaries historically, and other parts of the world that are actually coming to Ireland to share the gospel, because it's flipped. And I'm just wondering if those who have gone abroad from Kosovo, if the Lord would just press them in their hearts to return home and to reach their own people. Wouldn't that be a wonderful thing?
That would be great. I think there is an opportunity if this country get developed and there is better economical situation, educational situation, health system better.
Yeah.
I think there are opportunities. But I think people are so tired of these issues, not having money or not having resources. People are tired from the system. People are tired from being hopeless. We have been for 5 years the people of hope, that we have been having hope all the time. Next year is going to be better. Next government is going to do better. Next generation is going to, and now it's getting tired. That thing is getting more, getting more low. And for that, people, they want to search for something else.
It's nearly easier to go.
And easy to go outside of the country.
Yeah.
But for me, I wanted to connect with your question before. Honestly, I gave up for many things when I was a young man. I feel that sometimes God put me like Abraham, and he took me from my family and everything, what I was involved in another family, in this case, Christian family. And I have seen myself going back to all those things and doing different things and seeing people to come to know Jesus from the same circle. I feel that God has called me for that, has prepared for me for that, and I can see that impact is growing every day, challenges, opportunities to do more God's work, to see more things happening in the country. And I believe that God has called me to create things so other people can have a spot or channel so they can expose their gifts and their talents to serve the Lord.
Yeah. Wonderful. Any final reflections, like anything that the Lord has put on your heart recently that you think would be good for our listeners to hear? Anything that we can join you in praying for? Like anything you want to share just as we begin to close out the podcast?
Last week we had the youth leaders training. We had some young leaders and some elders who came together for 4 days training and just encouraging one another and fellowship together. I was sharing a session there, how to build up a youth ministry or a ministry from scratch. And I love the book of Nehemiah. Mm-hmm. And I've seen myself in that book so much recently and in many times of my life. I believe that God has called me and some other people in this nation to rebuild some of the structures in our society, rebuild something that has been destroyed by evil. And our roots are good. We have strong foundation, but the walls have been broken. We need to rebuild those walls. Even though there is strong foundation, there is Christian foundation in this nation. And something that I have learned from that story, and I can see that day to day, not just in Kosovo, but all over the world, is challenging the Christian community. It's working close by one another. Yeah. It's collaboration and working in partnership with one another. And if you read third chapter of Nehemiah, you can find, I don't know exactly, but maybe 48 times the word close to each other, close to each other, close to each other. This person was working close to each other.
Side by side, I think is the translation.
Yeah, side by side, side by side.
It's lovely.
So if you can read that, and if you can just study that side by side, and if we stay side by side, each other, we can achieve so much more. We can rebuild our societies way more easy, and we can build it strongly. Because to be broken is going to be much more harder. So it's going to be a strong and vibrant ministry and wall that is going to raise for the kingdom of God and for the glory of God. So that has been challenging me, and I think Kosovo is in that phase of rebuilding. We just got independent in 2008, and we are rebuilding our country. So I can see that also in this journey of Christianity, we are rebuilding something in this country. And we need you on our side, and we need people all over the world to stay side by side for Kosovo and reaching Kosovars with Jesus. Yeah.
Well, listen, that's an amazing way to bring this to an end, because, you know, even with the Superwoman programs and all of those kind of things that the FFTN partners have been involved in and investing in, it's with that attitude of being side by side. And sometimes I find that they maybe feel like their part they're playing is much smaller than the people who are maybe on the field that are sharing the gospel and discipling people. It's side by side. It's not like there's some measurement or metric. It's shoulder to shoulder. It's working together, and both is of equal value because both is necessary. It's just wonderful to hear you encourage us with that. Listen, we have a little fun segment called The Joyful Six. I'm going to throw 6 quick questions at you. I need just one word answer. Here we go. What one word would your friends use to describe you?
Creative.
Creative?
Yeah.
Okay. I think it says that on the mat. As you walk in here, it says Mana Creative. Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, great. Tea or coffee?
Coffee.
What type of coffee?
Turkish.
Yeah, I had one of those earlier, and it was very nice. Either a scripture or a quotation that's inspiring you right now.
Titus 2, 6 and 7.
Okay.
Show yourself in all respects to be a model of good works, and in your teaching show integrity, dignity, and sound speech that cannot be condemned, so that an opponent may be put to shame, having nothing evil to say about us.
That connects quite well with your story of coming to the House of Hope and trying to find the mistakes, but actually finding something else, the truth, which is incredible. Okay, thanks for that. What's your favorite place in Kosovo that you think everyone should visit or experience?
I think the Battle of Kosovo,
Okay.
Miloševa and that region there, because of the strong history spiritually, but also war and everything that is connected with our country.
So if people want to get to know more about Kosovo, that's the place to go to experience that. Wow. Okay. If you weren't in ministry, what's another role that you could see yourself in?
I used to be a professional soccer player.
Okay.
I
Wow.
played for Kosovo when I was 19. But I would rather be in politics, or I would rather be a doctor, chirurg.
Okay. Last thing, what's bringing you joy in your life right now?
My daughter.
Okay.
But beside that, honestly, I find joy, so much joy, when I create stuff and I see other people benefit from that.
Yeah.
It's something that gives me motivation every morning. Like, what can I do something that someone else can benefit?
Yeah.
That's my motivation.
Wonderful. It's been absolutely brilliant to be with you.
You.
Great to get to see around Kosovo and the ministry here, and we just look forward to future reports of what the Lord is doing here and seeing those young people moving from, surviving to thriving through what the Lord is doing in their lives.
Amen. God bless you.
I hope you like a warm beverage, because for all those that feature on the podcast, we have a little thank you. Our No Mug mug, inspired by the words of Jim Elliot, the famous American missionary. He is no mug, that is, he is no fool, who gives up what he cannot keep to gain what he cannot lose. One of those is on its way to you. And to our listeners, we hope you'll join us for another joyful exchange, when we'll be featuring inspiring conversations with visionary partners, ministry leaders, and change agents who are transforming wealth into worth for the world.
Foundation for the Nations is a Christ-centered giving vehicle facilitating Christian philanthropy and kingdom-minded investment, creating opportunities to make an eternal difference in the lives of young people around the globe served by Youth for Christ. You've been listening to the Joyful Exchange podcast. For more details, see www.fftn.org/joyfulexchange.